YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, continuing the vampire madness. This is going to be another flying build here. 3 bats, 2 terrorgeist, Manfred on his zombie dragon. Definitely, though, after my discussion yesterday, I almost think Strigoi might be a better pick here, unless someone has some reason to believe otherwise for a reason I'm not seeing, which very well could be the case. Except for in this case, Manfred, have you ever picked the zombie dragon or any other mount for your lord and then it just doesn't give it to you? Seems like there's some kind of glitch. So yeah, Manfred's on the ground. So I've got 2 Terrorgeist and 3 Felbats. And I've still got my 2 corpse carts with the Unholy Lodestone. Unholy Lodestone because it gives extra unit replenishment, or regeneration I should say. I put one on each flank, and it also gives a combat buff. My idea here against Bretonnian, who has cheap effective infantry, was rather than bring the monsters and cavalry that their cheap effective infantry is good against, I'm going to bring a bunch of infantry that their infantry is not so good against. So the Bretonnian infantry has a charge defense against all. Well, my guys don't have much of a charge bonus, and halberds are good against armor. Some of my guys don't have a lot of armor, so I'm gonna be trying to throw units at them that are counter to what they're good at. So I'm going to charge the Bretonnian lines with skeleton warriors, and then I'm going to mob the Bretonnian paladins with my flying squad, and then Leon Kur is going to push on through and come on over towards the rear of this fight, and he's going to try and get down here and attack my corpse cart. That's fine for the time being. You can see that the infantry fight is taken, and then I'm going to bring skeleton spears over to help tie down Leon Kur, because I don't think he can kill my corpse cart fast enough. And then I've got Manfred, who's getting stuck on his own spearman, because of course I didn't give him a mount. So let's see what he's up to here. I'm going to come in with a Spirit Leech, which is a great way to pull a bunch of hit points off of Leon Kur pretty quick. And Leon Kur just gets bogged down in a bunch of spears. There comes a breath spell from the damsel, but doesn't do a whole lot. You can see the paladins up here just get overwhelmed. There's too many units for them to fight against, and they just get mobbed. So the Bretonnian flying squad actually just straight gets bested by actually subpar vampire squad, because Leon Kur is not up there in the air helping in the fight. If Manfred had been on the zombie dragon, I think it would have gone poorly for Bretonnian in the air, unless they could have gotten their archers close enough to that fight to support. See my corpse cart just sitting up here right by my infantry, trying to keep them backed up. I'm going to use some invocation into heck. I just need my guys to last a while in this fight. And you can see that they are kind of slowly, pulling down the hit points of the Bretonnian units. Leon Kur is going to get away from me, so I'm just going to pull Manfred back up closer to the fight and keep the spearman right next to him. But because Leon Kur was dinking around in the down on the ground, his 2 paladins got their crap handed to him by the bats and the Terrorgeist. And so the Bretonnian flying squad is in mortal danger at this point. You can see he's just running away. You don't often see the Bretonnian flying squad running away from people, but here you will. My corpse cart is completely healed again, and the archers definitely should be targeting my corpse cart. They would probably find some success. Over here, Bretonnia is kind of overwhelming me in the forest because they have more men than I can handle, but I've got Grave Guard that are in good health. I'm going to keep dropping the Invocation of the Heck over here and just keep buffing up the centerpiece of my infantry, because I'm slowly breaking through the Bretonnian. And his paladins come in again on a desperation charge, trying to get to Manfred, but I've just surrounded him with spears, so that if the flying units come down, they're going to start taking a lot of damage and hopefully get bogged down in combat. And now I'm going to bring all my flying units down on Leon Kur and just finish him off. So with the Felbats and the Terrorgeist coming in, Spirit Leech coming in, Leon Kur is going to be done. So that's one way to help get rid of him. He can replenish, but the vampires can use the Spirit Leech to really pull hit points off of him quickly. There goes Leon Kur, and when Leon Kur dies, the chances of Bretonnia pulling off a victory start to go down pretty quick. Pretty quick. Not to mention we're going to have terror-inducing units in the form of Terrorgeist, and you can see here, terrified. So a lot of the Bretonnian units are going to start to get terrified en route, plus you have the balance bar sweeping into my favor. The bows are going to come out here and get attacked by Terrorgeist and bats. Routing units are going to be getting attacked. The terror factor now just kicks into full gear. And then the power bar. So this one ends up being an easy victory for me over Bretonnia. I think my opponent could have used his bows a lot better. And his flying goon squad actually was, I don't know if it was outmatched, because if he could have kept that fight closer to the support of his bows, or force me to try and come down in his bows and, you know, just do something to that order, he might have had a better chance. But the way he took that fight with the 2 paladins, trying to go after 2 Terrorgeist and a bunch of Fellbats, that was never going to work. The Fellbats break the charge of units. That's one of the biggest things they can do, is interrupt the charge. And on a flying unit that heavily requires or relies on a charge, like a paladin, it's going to be bad. And then the Terrorgeist comes in with very nice anti-large and anti-armor bonuses. So it's going to do fairly well in that case. It doesn't have a healing potion. That is one big weakness versus, say, like the Bretonnian paladin. No healing potion. But again, they do get invocation into hack. So basically a healing potion, I should say. So anyway, yeah, pretty clear victory there over Bretonnia. They didn't have the forces to pull it off. I like that he brings a lot of archers. Archers are really good against crypt horrors and stuff like that. His army was probably really well built to take on a crypt horror type vampire army. But this wasn't a crypt horror type army. This was very different, and it was meant to be different. You can see I get a pretty solid performance out of skeleton warriors, which are very cheap. I get a solid performance out of my Grave Guard, almost untouched throughout that fight. And then the Corpse Cart's doing exactly what I want them to, which is just supporting my my mainline infantry to help me get more out of them. His Paladins were held to basically just 15 kills of bats here for the most part. And then Leon Kerr got some kills, I think, on my Spearmen and maybe a couple other stuff. But for the most part, again, he was held. And Manfred kept himself healthy and alive through the whole fight. And if you can't kill the Vampire Lord, you are going to find yourself in an uphill struggle to win. So again, as I look at this type of build, I showed this yesterday, I'll show it again. I've recorded this the same night for both of these. I'm actually thinking the Strigoi would be a better pick for this. He gets a bonus versus large of 40, which is pretty significant, so it's 430 weapon damage. And if we look at the armor piercing, it's 270 armor piercing. Let's look how that stacks up against von Karstein's Zombie Dragon. There is no bonus versus large, and it's 290 armor piercing. So I believe Strigoi would do better there, but let's see. So 3,700 health, 70 armor. Let's check out Strigoi on the Terrorgeist. 80 armor, so better armor and better health. So I do believe Strigoi is the superior pick if you were going to be bringing an army like this. The anti-large here, if you get into a fight in the air or even on the ground, that's going to be very, very handy. And so I would think that Strigoi becomes the better pick. The other cool thing about Strigoi Ghoul King is that he's got like a mix of vampire and lore of death. He doesn't just carry one lore here. So he gets Invocation to Hack and Spirit Leech if you needed it, Doom and Darkness and other stuff, but same thing with Soul Blight. It's a good spell if you need it. All his spells are quite useful, except for Gaze and Nagash kind of got nerfed a little. And then you got this one here where you could spawn a unit of Crypt Horrors. So I think that since he cost a little less than the Zombie Dragon, could be potentially a good pick. But like I said, if you see something I'm not seeing here, let me know. And he gets poison attacks too. Nothing wrong with that. Zombie Dragon doesn't get poison attack. So something to consider. Anyway, that's my thoughts on this build. What do you all think? I hope you're enjoying the videos. Man, I love making them for you. I hope you all know that every day I'm excited to make videos for you, and I'm excited to see your reaction to them. I hope you're enjoying it. And I appreciate MSI for sponsoring this build that I'm recording it on. It helps me bring you high quality videos, and I hope to see you all soon. Tell me what else you want to see with the vampires, and I'll start trying to take a look into it.